Hey guys, I just want to do a quick talk with you guys. Well, it may not be so quick, but it's not gonna be super long, I don't think. Before I do my Gemini reading, because I was doing something and then watching a video, and it just kind of pushed me to talk about some things that have sort of been triggering me. That some of them I wasn't going to talk about. I was just going to process and do myself. And then some of them, it's not just me that they would be helping. So I figured I'd talk about it because, for one, this is kind of how it begins, where you start integrating and bringing into union stuff within yourself, so that can kind of happen in society around us. Like, I know it's not going to happen overnight, but, when people want to see change in the world, it starts with themselves. And that's kind of how this goes. Also, I wanted to give an example of how you do, like, a type of mirror work, or how you can let something that triggers you allow you to heal. If I keep looking down, I wrote some notes because there's just so much. I don't want to forget it. Because a lot of people, they really want to know how to do certain things, or, I'm sorry, I could feel like the pre-shadow of the Mercury retrograde, so I'm kind of like, so just bear with me on this, on the communication and normal flow thing. And they just don't know how to do it or whatever. So I just wanted to give an example. So I know I've been having a lot of things come up for me. For one, as far as my past, especially as far as, I don't know, I've been told it's past lifetimes. I don't know exactly how that works, if it's past lifetimes or if it's just like one main soul and other ones you're connecting to. I don't know. But either way, just to put it simply, there's other energies or experiences or things that I'm tapping into that affect my energies and wounds that I'm working through, especially in this going forward part in my life, even with like either the business or, just moving forward, my own things of letting go, my own personality, who I am, all that stuff. And one of them that really seems to keep coming up is, either like medicine man, shaman. And I've been having for a while what we as humans would label as, this looks weird. I don't know. Like witchy type stuff. And very shadowy type stuff. So embracing a lot of that and seeing what it is. And I knew I needed to go through certain things, and it was affecting certain things as my confidence and my expression, because I knew that basically I had been killed for those things in past lifetimes, like multiple ones, or are tapping into other lifetimes that have, whatever way you want to look into that. Whether it be through me just being me, whether it me trusting other people, helping other people, expressing, being vulnerable. I know I even did like a meditation past life and had images come up where, I don't know, I just heard like 1700s, and I could see me dressed. I was like white and like black and like that whitish hat, and the shoes almost looked like pilgrim type shoes, but I don't know a better way to explain that. And I don't know, I just remember seeing, kind of cobblestone type roads, or mostly even in the house where you would still with like hearth, I think, and a cauldron. And I did a lot of things with like plants and plant medicine. But I was secluded, like I was on my own, and I tried to stay away from society because I remember having resentments of, I wanted to help people, but, I was kind of outcasted in a way, and it was safer for me too. So I kind of had a lot of resentment because a lot of the same people who, would outcast you or ridicule you were some of the same ones that would come to you for your services, and or need help or whatever. And I mean, there's other things too, but that's the main thing of it. And then I remember like seeing fire, and then I think what I remember right before I went was, I believe I was hung. I get a lot of things from my throat sensation, and I remember like seeing being like hung, and then there was nothing. So I remember seeing that and knowing, you know, those were things I was going to have to work through, and know this is a different lifetime and a different time, and, you know, and working with my mind and being like, oh, well, you know, I'd rather die trying than not try at all. And, you know, then I have a lot of stuff coming up. I can feel it in my solar plexus chakra, between, you know, it being like on fire, literally feeling, and then like gas or indigestion or other unpleasant bowel related experiences. So I've been doing a lot of like exercises or meditations or certain things, and also taking actions to help things, to re-give myself new favorable experiences relating to like your solar plexus, or like confidence, self-esteem, will, all that stuff. And I can also feel there's certain times where I can feel emotions being released from it that I have to process really quickly, that I won't even know what it is or what it's from. It just like comes up, like I'll just be doing something, and then like something will come up, and then I'll like have an emotion for like literally 30 seconds, and then it's gone. So I know there's a lot of things right now that are coming up for me to heal this part of myself, in so many ways going forward. And another thing that's been triggering me lately, and this is one of the things I wasn't going to talk about, because I really didn't want to give energy to it, or really make it a reality. But I kind of see why, like, it kept coming up for me. I kept having videos and stuff like that coming up about how, you know, tarot and astrology, and even like witches and stuff, were demonic. They are demonic, or they can, you know, be demonic or bring in demons or this or that or whatever. And one lady I watched was even a tarot reader. She wasn't one for a while, and then something happened and it scared her, which did not have anything to do with tarot. Which is fine, you know, that's her path. You know, her path was supposed to lead her there, so I don't judge that. But it was other things she said that I still received lovingly. However, you know, to me it was a bit of ignorance. She did have some valid points, which I actually do want to either say in this video or do a video on. But any of that stuff is a tool, basically, and can be used in whatever way you see it or do with it. It's like a gun. A gun can be used for protection, or it can be used to kill people. You know, a pencil can be used to write, or you could use it to kill somebody. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with that. And that type of stuff, sure, you know, it can ignite some stuff in you. Especially if you have a lot of fear in you, or you are not aware of your shadow, or it's just naturally ingrained in you already, or anything like that. There's all types of people and all types of things. In lawyers, there's what we, you know, let's place judgment on it just for sake of conversation. There's good and there's bad. You know, with nurses, good, bad. Judgment, good, bad. Doctors, good, bad. I mean, police, good, bad. Men, good, bad. Women, good, bad. You know what I mean? They're all over. So that's why I wasn't really going to put a lot into it, because I was like, I don't really want to make this, you know, my reality. But then I've been having a lot of other things come up for me to work with. in a sort of spiritual, metaphysical way. That by many could be seen as darkness, or I guess evil, or I don't know if they'd quite say demonic, or just bad. The ones that are it's not understanding or don't appreciate or understand about their shadow or whatever. And I guess today, the reason I'm making this video, partially this is just for me to talk and explain things and get things out and understand things. And another part is maybe someone might understand or be going through the same thing. Or also someone can see sort of my mental processing as I'm going through things and working through things, so they can get kind of an example of it, of like doing the work, basically. And I see where this is taking me now, and I knew because there's parts of myself that I'm trying to address, that I want to evolve or change or work on, especially to have and do the things I want to do and that I'm being guided to do. I have to work on those things within myself. And so these things coming up, not only, and they're kind of adding on more and more, but they would teach me those things. They would help me learn those things, or in order to do those or gain access, I would have to work on those other things within me, such as, even consistency, discipline, self-motivation, just certain things that, when I was driven by fear, I had no problem doing. But now that I'm doing it like for myself and out of love and out of my own passion and everything like that, I do, especially when I had another thing come up that helped me realize it, which I'll talk about soon. And I realized, that in order to work with these things, just things that represent like their energies. So whether it be, dragon energy. I mean, if you really work with dragon energy, it's not a light and fluffy energy. It can be a hard, abrasive energy. It is motherly, but it's also very fatherly, and it's a hard fatherly. It holds you accountable type stuff. But very much age and wisdom and power, and you get what I'm saying, all that stuff. And then there's other things like that have been presenting to me to work with, that, and I know dragon can be easy. Most people wouldn't be like, oh my god, with dragon, but some would if they kind of really understand how deep dragon energy can go, or even if you go to just certain other energies that deal with what would be quote, quote, darkness. And I'm not saying satanic, so, I'm not even going to go there, but darkness, basically. For, like, if we were to put it in movie terms, like, how Elvira was the mistress of the dark, or whatever. And I'm just like, what is up with all this stuff, coming up? And I get it, it's to bring me back in my shadow. Again, basically it brought me down and I guess gave me a break, and now it's like, and now that I learned more tools, like we're ready to go. I think I'm getting ready to go back into my shadow again. I'm not sure, or to navigate certain parts of it again. Pretty sure that's where I'm being guided. And I was a little resistant, not so much to the dragon one, but certain other ones, I was like, is that bad? Will that be a portal to bringing in other things I don't want? Will that bring out parts of me I don't want or I don't like, or, I would judge them, basically. So again, I'm being called to, as much as I'm like, don't judge, don't this, I caught myself doing it. And yes, some things you do have to. You have to have a level of discernment, but it then occurred to me, all the videos I had been seeing about people saying that about astrology, tarot, what was the other thing? Spirituality, occult stuff, whatever. And maybe I was like, maybe that's why I was getting so mad is, for one, because they didn't understand. And then I was like, well, is that exactly what I'm doing right now? Like, am I again judging it because I don't understand it? And I've always known that, you know, what I was supposed to help people with, and because of my level of either my gifts or my caring or my attention or my focus, you know, it was really to help people kind of cross through the dark to the light. And I really believe too, just because of certain experiences I've had, I'm not sure, but I don't think it's just people, because of experiences I've had and then people who have come my way and tools that I've been given. I don't think that it's just for the living. That eventually, I don't know when, but that I would be guiding from the dark to the light, however you want to say that, whether it's subconscious to conscious, you know, life to the afterlife, you know, I don't know. But I have to be able to address certain things within myself, even fears and doubts and will, but also I have to know what people are going through. I mean, that's why I'm able to do a lot of the stuff I am now, is because what I've went through. A lot of people learn things, and they learn things fast when they have to experience it. And I feel like that I have to experience not only certain things, but things about myself to heal them. But I just realized I was judging it in that moment where, and I get it, you know, part of it is self-preservation. You have to have discernment. But whenever you're A, on a healing journey, or B, you're doing this to help others, like, it's just not all light and fluffy, you know, and it can't be light and fluffy, and I can't keep it to only the light and fluffy. If you want to look at a lot of my greatest momentum forward and a lot of my greatest, honestly, jumps, for lack of better words, it was through the pain, it was through the darkness, it was through the hard stuff. And I can't try to control that, and I don't want to judge that. So just be careful. My main point in that is, you know, be careful what you're seeing and what you're judging things, and also what you're hearing and what you're buying into. I probably won't add it into this, but, you know, with people saying like, you know, tarot's bad or astrology's bad or this is bad, if you don't see your shadow and you don't have a level of self-discipline and you don't see yourself and your weaknesses and your strengths and your convictions and all that, then yeah, I guess it could be an opening to something. Also, there is a lot of negative things in the tarot community, especially stuff that can really lead to like addictions or negative thought patterns or anything like that, which I will do more of a video addressing. But anything you do can be not healthy. It's not the thing itself. It's whatever is going on inside of you. It's just people not wanting to take responsibility and projecting it. Could it be, I guess, a portal to something else more evil or whatever? I guess anything could. If it really wanted to that much, you not doing tarot and just not knowing your shadows, a person could come into your life that you're just highly attracted to, and that could happen. So, you know, it's kind of ignorance and fear. But I'll save that for another time. Something else that really, I'm sorry if this is all over the place, that really came up to me for me to see things was, I had an email from somebody about a service. And something in that moment was, I could just feel the energy, not hers, but the abundant energy. And I just remember sitting there and being like, it's it's really here. And I could feel the, I don't know the correct word, like the vastness or just the huge energy, the energy that is so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger than me. I could feel it. And it was like in that moment that that I remember the last time I felt that energy. And it was that, that energy that was just, it was bigger than you. It was, you can't control it. And it's one of those that your life will never be the same again type things. I guess you don't have to go into it. Most people would, I guess. I mean, you'd always wonder what if, or it would just eat you up. It would probably honestly cause you disease if you tried. But it brought me back to that time when I experienced that energy before. And I had to take a risk with it. And it was a type of risk that I had to really question my beliefs. I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know if I was ready. I didn't know if it would pay off. I didn't know how the people around me would react. I had to question whether I cared. Was it important enough to me? At one point, I think even subconsciously, I either didn't know enough if I wanted it or tried to sabotage it. I didn't realize what I was doing though, but and my past self, this was in this lifetime, saw it as a failure, where it didn't work out. The risk did not work out. I guess part of me possibly felt that it was because of me, or because I wasn't good enough, which is not true. But I think I still hold that energy. Also, it was not a failure. So my perception was wrong on that. There were so many beautiful things that did come from it, and so many great experiences and of learning about myself. And I've really had to look at myself and be like, would I do it again? Even knowing what I know now, like, would I do it again? Yeah, I would. I'd probably do some things differently, but I would. So I'm really having to look at a lot of my thinking, because I know subconsciously that block, or a lot of those blocks, all these things I'm mentioning that are coming up, that are everywhere, but they're a lot really sitting in my solar plexus, which is what it's working through right now. If I would still do it again, knowing that, why would I not push forward? Why would I still hold myself back or wonder, because it's like this opportunity that's being presented to me in my life. Like, I think this is the first time I've ever acknowledged feeling another energy that is this, why can't I think of words like magnificent or big? I don't know. Like, I can't think right now. And it feels exactly the same. And a lot of the same questions are coming up where it's like, can I do this? You know, am I ready? What will others think? Like, who am I? How do I want to present this? Like, what do I believe in? It's another questioning again of who I am and my identity and that shift. I think I obviously have it better now because I see the bigger picture, and to know that, you know, you kind of just have to go, and the whole experience, it isn't necessarily about what happens or what you get to or what you get out of it. It's like, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, you know. So it's about, what does it teach you? What does it show you about yourself? You know, enjoying the ups and the downs, and having faith and trusting the process no matter where it takes you, because there's a bigger picture than what you can see. And a lot of times, if you just trust it, it takes us somewhere better than we would have ever even planned on anyways. It's just sometimes a lot of that pain and suffering is made worse because we get in our own ways and we try to control it. So I also have to try to remember all of that. But it really made me realize a lot of things about why part of me is resisting this. And I didn't really connect how the energy felt exactly the same as back when, you know, at that time when I was a teenager, and taking that chance and taking another chance now. And then how I was getting so upset at people judging or talking about things such as, like, you know, spirituality or the cult. Not that I really place myself in that label. I don't really like to place myself in a box. I just do what comes up for me. But I don't like when people talk about things that they don't know, or because they have their own fears or don't know how to, like, ride things out or whatever. There also always has to be a polarity. This world is all about balance and polarity. It's not about good or bad. There has to be the polarity. So that was really triggering me. And then I realized that I was doing the same exact thing, you know, against other things that were coming up to actually help me out to move forward. Like, that were my allies. So I was, like, judging things that were trying to be my own allies, and not only my own allies, but honestly a part of myself that is trying to come up. I was literally doing the same thing, not only to myself and to those things, but in the same way that I was getting upset about in, you know, seeing the people do that, or to the other people who had done stuff to me, judging me or possibly even killing me for just being me, you know. And then that brought up even things about, like, race and minorities and a lot of the things in the world. And I've never condoned anything like that, but even though that's part of me and it's who I am, you know, then you think of all these people who, like, they can't change the color of their skin. I mean, I guess you can, but you get what I'm saying. Like, and yeah, I can change the things that I do, but it's still part of me. And I know, you know, you can't get that to go away, but just the judgment of it, and maybe understanding more about, you know, I know I don't understand exactly, but just that fear and those core wounds that are within you, and of being not enough, and most of the time for reasons that really have nothing to do with you. I mean, they do in a way, because you control how you react to it, but, you know, you also have to go against your own, like, societal patterns and learning and wanting to fit in and the need for love and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm of such a light and vibrational energy. And I can tell that there's things trying to come in and teach me this other side that is of a side that I guess I would never want to be like. But at the same time, I think it's because I don't understand it. And I feel like, I guess the judgment I'd be worried about, but not as much. I think I'm more worried about what it would feel like. And the ironic part to that is that other part is really already in me. I just don't address it. It's repressed. So again, I mean, it's doing me more harm by repressing it. And then also, it is your ally. I mean, think about it. People keep around coping-wise what works for them. So it must be somewhat of a benefit to them. And I aim to achieve balance in my life, in evolution, in growth. So why would I not want to know both sides? Why would I not want to experience both sides? And I guess in a way I'm also scared, like, will I get stuck? You know, will I get lost? Can I find my way back again? And I always do. Like, I know that I'm guided. These are like some irrational fears that are also coming in, but based off also learned experiences and really seeing the benefit in it. Like, even those other lifetimes, even in the past, like the past time or past relationships, like, they were very important times. They're very pivotal. You know, I even see now so much more why it was so pivotal. Why that experience came into my life. And it's like, almost like things are coming full circle again. It's weird. There's like a bunch of mini cycles within a big cycle. And to do something different this time, like, what do you choose? And that doesn't mean you don't choose it. You could still choose it, but maybe your perception, you choose to come out of it perception-wise differently and not have a victim mentality, or you choose to take different actions this time, or to know that you just enjoy the experience and don't judge yourself in the process, and that what happens is supposed to happen. Like, don't be so hard on myself. Why has it got to be because of me? You know? And I get it. I get where those core, you know, wounds are coming from, but why has it got to be because of me? Basically, I have to go in and face and confront things and feel them so that I can understand them, I can heal them, and I can gain a new perspective, and then possibly forgive and let go of them. But another reason I wanted to say all this is to show, like, that I struggle too. You know what I mean? Like, I make gains and then I struggle, and then I make gains and I struggle. I mean, that's a lifelong process. Anybody who doesn't do that is not evolving and are not still learning. Like, you should always be a student of life. You should teach as you learn, but you should always be in the student mentality. If not, that sucks for you, and it sucks for the people around you. But I've noticed that some people, especially when they tend to watch like these type of channels and stuff, because of that whole like codependent, you know, narcissistic nature, or just attachment styles and stuff like that, people tend to put other people on pedestals or project or act like something else outside of them. And I don't have any more capabilities than somebody else. I am no more special than somebody else. I mean, if you were to look at me in everyday life, if anybody else who really knows me, I'm a regular person. I'm not acting like I'm a star or anything. I'm just saying, I can tell by some of the way people comment and the way they email, and as much as lovely as that is, I'm a regular person. And I know on one hand that's kind of like, duh, Candice, but on the other hand, it needs to be said. Because I realize in a lot of the ways some of you guys talk, that you place things up here. Like, that's not you, or that's not obtainable, or that someone is more special than you. I mean, realize that if you're seeing that in someone else, if you're resonating that in someone else, that is in you, or your energy would not have found me. I'm just willing to face the challenge and be vulnerable and do the work to the best of my ability for wherever I'm at that time. But, you know, it's a lifelong process of me challenging my limitations, my perceived limitations, and realizing that really the only limitation is my beliefs and my thoughts and my humanness, and not even really the humanness, because that can really help you. But in that challenge, it's with love, and I'm always growing and evolving and learning. It is through this experience that I am meant to experience, feel, and learn. So I have to push forth with these experiences. I have to push forward. I mean, you have to anyways to live, but I am my limitation for the most part. And I'm saying this so that hopefully you guys see this about yourself too. Because some of you guys see it, and some of you guys don't. Some of you guys see it, but then still stop. But some people really go on and really just place on a pedestal. And I just really hope that nobody really does that with myself or anybody else on YouTube or anywhere. Movie stars, songwriters, singers, I don't care who it is. It was, those people are people just like you. They have sicknesses, illnesses, struggles, mental illnesses, depression, anxiety. They eat, they poop, they sleep, they do everything like you, I believe, to my knowledge. They're just willing to work on, grow, and develop, and go after things that other people aren't willing to see, or don't believe is even in a possibility of a reality for them. Because they're either not willing to challenge their limitations, or they don't even know they have that option to, or they are so disconnected from themselves and don't know how to cope that they don't even have the energy to. And that's usually when people put people on a pedestal and they live vicariously through somebody else. But just know that your energy and your vibration found mine if you're very drawn to mine. And that means something about you. So again, I'm not trying to say this in a big-headed way. I don't think you'll take it that way, but I feel that way saying it. My point is just realize that people are just people. You know, and nobody is more special than anybody else, and nobody is less special than anybody else. They're just different, and they resonate with what they resonate with. And it either vibes with you or it doesn't. And if it does, you attract that which you vibe with, positive and negative. I think that's pretty much it as far as most of my notes. But I think there's a lot of people right now, I know at least especially the Tauruses, But a lot of people that I believe, especially with these energies, mine has been really strong since the summer solstice. I didn't even remember it was. And I just remember feeling a really intense energy that day. And when I looked, it was the 21st, and I was like, oh yeah, June 21st was the summer solstice. So it's been really strong ever since then. And now with going into like Cancer season and then going into Leo, you know, it's really going to be firing up even more and working through a lot of those shifts and experiences and mental things. And I hope through all this blabbering on that some of you guys have kind of seen my processing about how one thing can lead to another, and put it together and piece it together. Maybe it's just my mind. I don't really know. Sometimes I take things for granted like that I feel like everybody can do that type of stuff. And then I talk to some people and they can't. And I don't. So it's hard for me sometimes to decipher if that's a gift of mine, or if it's just they haven't learned how to do it yet, or if they're just very blocked off. I don't really know. But that a lot of stuff is coming up about doubts. Pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to dreams. Pay attention to things that you're finding that are just hitting you in that stomach core, and that are, you know, holding you back. Or if you're noticing certain themes that are coming up for you right now, and why, you know, what does it mean to you? How does it make you feel? Why does it make you feel that way? What is it bringing up? And feel those emotions, feel into it, what's going on, and see it so you can heal it. Because it's basically through, like, you know, I heard this one lady say, you know, like, repetition and emotion is really how you break through old stuff and build new stuff, as far as, you know, patterns and things within yourself and that you wanting to build and stuff. Also through even like that with the mirror work, where it was just, that was really crazy. You know, when I noticed how I was thinking that way about those people doing those videos, and then things that were presenting to me to work with that I was like, I don't know. I was doing the exact same way. I was doing the exact same thing. Because they would have taught me a little bit more about what we would perceive as the shadow side. Because we as humans have put negative connotations on that which doesn't feel light and fluffy, you know? It teaches you about yourself. And yes, you know, you are a little bit more drawn to certain other things being in a lower vibration, but those things teach you about yourselves. They show you, you know, what your patterns are. They show you what your values are and your principles and your strengths. And if you didn't know it, you will by the end of it. What do you really want? Who are you really? I mean, it's really through a lot of times your darkest times that you find out who you really are. But a lot of people judge it so much. And I get it, a lot of scary things can happen. And yes, sometimes when you're there, because it brings up fear and jealousy and envy and stuff like that, they are lower vibrations. So now that you're vibrating lower in that part, you experience lower vibration type things. And it's scary. I get it. But it's still up to you, you know, what you experience and what you do with it, and your guides and what you call upon and all of that. And remembering your free will. It is a little scary though. You can get caught in kind of the illusion and the lies and the deception of it. But again, you've got to really look at your shadow. You know, if you're not looking at who you are if you don't really know who you are and what you want and what drives you, you can be easily deceived. And you can't always run from that stuff. So what are you going to do? Like run your whole life and hope that you always stay hidden? And then you really never get to rise or shine? You never get to grow? You always stay in fear? You think you're in love and light, but you stay small and you stay fearful and you just fall apart because you don't have any confidence. You know, I mean, I'm just giving you things to think about. That's why people who always try, and I was one of those people who always try to like protect themselves from things all the time. Like they usually have even more confidence issues and self-esteem issues because they've never had to make it through the hard times. To see who they are, to see what they can do, to learn their tools, to learn their relationship with their guides or their self. How do you know what you would do in a certain situation? That's how people come to judge, honestly, even especially religious people. And nothing against religious people, but people who are so much into like just religion and it has to be this and this is right, this is wrong, the devil, the devil, the devil, devil. I mean, I'm not like, woo, devil, but who do you think in all actuality, let's speak archetype-wise, who do you think out of everybody needs the most love and the most compassion? And how do you understand something if you've never even tried? And how do you feel okay judging something if you never tried? And I get it, there's limits to that. Like, I don't want to judge eating a crap sandwich and being like, well, I can't judge it, I've never had one, you know? Let's be reasonable. You get what I'm saying. And I get that, you know, your intuition will also tell you like danger, danger, danger. And that's why you also have to know the difference between feelings and emotions and intuition. While also riding the wave and just knowing that's the way life goes. I feel like experiences like that also teach you compassion too. It's really hard to have compassion when you've never been through anything, or you don't understand, or you just sit back and keep yourself blocked off and just judge. That's why you don't understand things. But I just wanted to say this because I wanted maybe somebody, you know, this sparked something people were realizing they were doing about themselves, or maybe if they're having blocks right now in energy and moving forward in these energies that are trying to move people forward, especially right now, that maybe they can remember a time in their life when they remember when an energy was this expansive too. That made them feel it was bigger than themselves. It was bigger than life. It made them feel vulnerable and excited. I remember the first time that I felt this energy for myself when I was a teenager. I was scared. I was nervous. But I did take the chance. And I did it purely with kind of like that full energy, you know, where you just, you know, you have like blind faith, I guess, and you just jump off the cliff and hope for the best. I guess I got hit by a couple of rocks along the way. But it needed to happen, you know? And now it's like, I know that I'm also protected and that I'm guided and that life has its ups and downs, and I just ride it and don't have an expectation. Just enjoy. Just purely enjoy riding the wave. If I fall, I fall and I get back up, and don't have an expectation of where that wave takes me. Just go from my heart and just own my decision, I guess. Because otherwise you'll just always wonder, you know, like what if, or that you should have, or, you know, all that time you could have been wasting and learning and growing. And that's the other thing that's hard for me. I guess in a way I'm kind of like a perfectionist, so it's hard for me because I don't know all of this. You know, it's like a field I don't know and I'm starting all over again. And when I don't know things, I hold back and I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I don't know. The two biggest things were the fact that how I was kind of getting triggered by those people and realized I was doing it to myself. And judging that part of myself and judging those guides or archetypes or entities or whatever it is that were coming to help me. And then also feeling the similarity in the energy. And realizing that's one of the things that's really been holding me back, is that even though I didn't remember here, you know, my body remembered. My DNA and my body cells remembered, or my soul remembered, something remembered, and was like, whoa. But I'm glad I thought of that and realized it, because it's like now consciously when that feeling comes up, I can choose now. Instead of just reacting or becoming resentful or bitter or fearful, I can choose to rise above it and like take action. It's not smooth sailing, you know. I'm still gonna have my things about it. I still have to make up new, you know, brain neural pathways or whatever and all that stuff. But it was just a lot of big like ahas for me, you know. I don't know. I feel like at this point I'm just gonna Is there anything else? No. I think the tarot addiction thing I'm gonna do its own video on. That's it. I'm gonna keep it just this long. I love you guys. I hope you understand this. If not, I got it out. I'm not sure if I got anything from it. Very much in that pre-shadow Mercury retrograde thing, and it's just, well, not really. I've been realizing a lot of stuff. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. So, I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me. Put your comments below if you have anything about it. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're interested at all in donations to help give back, all that stuff, exchange energy, if this helped you, help my journey forward and my mission and healing, and you get it if you watch my other videos. Everything's in the description box below. But please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos, and please comment, like I said. Like, just let me know when you think. If not, I hope this helps you. Thank you for listening to me and walking this journey with me and allowing me to be here with this journey with you and blah, 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 and all of that. But I love you guys. I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.